Hey guys, welcome back to Women to Watch. Today is the second episode of Women to Watch series. So, just a little bit about what is Women to Watch all about. So, Women to Watch series is actually a four episode series where I'll be talking to beautiful women who are actually in the media industry. Last week, I talked to Gaia, who's a film producer, and today I have Nicola, who is actually an actor on stage and on screen. Do Okay, before that, before that, do subscribe to my YouTube channel for amazing video content, and also without any delay, let's welcome Nicola.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Nicola. Okay, so today we are going to talk to you about being an actor on stage and on screen as well, right? Okay,
Yeah.
so before anything else, right? Maybe you want to introduce a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so basically, I started off as a dancer from young, and then I moved into theater acting around about when I was 17 after O
Mm.
levels. And then when it came to my degree and all that, about 21 or so, I went into musical theater because it's something I've always loved and something I've always been exposed to also since young. And then after graduating, I went on to do a bit of martial arts
Mm.
because I do have plans to become a stunt actor eventually. But that's a
Oh
far goal. But that's
wow!
a very far goal.
Oh
Yeah.
my god! Okay. Wow, interesting. Stunt actor.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I feel that is something not many women, especially Asian women, to explore, right? Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's male
It's a very male
dominating.
dominated. Yes. Yeah.
And I understand that for stunt actor for female is usually the westerners.
Yes. Mostly. Yeah.
Mostly,
Mm.
right? Okay, so for those who are watching, we are actually having conversation with Nicola, who's actually an actor on stage and also on screen. So if you have any questions about acting, on stage or on screen, you can just ask the question in the live chat comment below, and I will flash out the question for her. Okay, before we get questions from their viewers, I have my own question. So
Okay.
my first question is, what attracted you to begin as a stage actor?
Um, okay, from
Mm,
young, I was actually very fortunate to be exposed to the arts, the theater.
mm,
My parents would bring me and my two sisters to watch theater shows. And I think because I was also exposed to ballet at a young age, so there was a
mm,
lot of performances, stage performances. And so being on stage in front of a lot of people wasn't a very foreign thing to me. So what got me into acting eventually was after O levels. I actually didn't do very well for my O levels.
okay.
So I really can't study. I really can't. So my dad saw an ad in the newspaper actually for theater, like a diploma theater course, and he was like, "Oh, why don't you try for this? Because it's something we've always been exposed to anyway." So he was very
Mm,
supportive of it. So he's like, okay, why don't you go and try? I was like, okay, fine, I want to try. And I actually developed an interest for it, and I realized that I actually quite liked it very much.
mm,
Yeah. So that
mm.
was it was that moment that kickstart my entire like theater acting performing journey. Yeah.
And how old is that?
When I was 17, like after
17.
level. Yeah.
After O level. So 17 until now. Have you been doing anything else other than, like acting,
Uh,
dancing?
Other than
Have you?
side jobs, sometimes to support
Mm.
myself, no, I think my entire life has just been performing or performance related.
Wow, that's really, really very, needs a lot of determination and, the patience to be in that line for like so long, right?
Yeah, yeah, it really does. I mean, there are a lot of challenges as well. It's not always very
Mm.
easy. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you were saying you have been in the industry since maybe I say 17 lah to be, like easier, right?
Yeah.
Since 17 years old, you've been doing stage acting, or and then you started with stage, and then after that you moved to screen.
Yes. So after I finished with my musical theater training, I
Mm, mm,
started to go into a bit more of film. It was actually by
mm.
chance where
Film.
I
Mm.
yeah, I just went for a random like film audition, and then I got the role, and then from there onwards, I think it just carried on. Like
Wow.
the screen acting, the roles just came in, and I count myself very fortunate for that actually. Yeah, because it's not something
Wow.
I planned for.
Yeah.
It just happened.
Right. Wow, that's really interesting. I mean, like you just happen to be a film actor.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
I guess the universe just allowed it to happen.
Exactly, exactly. All right. Okay. So I have one question from
Yeah,
the audience. All
yeah.
right, I'm just gonna show. Okay,
Yeah.
Jit actually asked, "Hi Nicola. So how
Hi.
different is it between acting on stage and for screen?"
Yes. On stage, there are no retakes, no cuts. Yeah, you have to be able to memorize all your lines. You need to know what you're doing. Sometimes you don't, though, on stage. Sometimes things happen, you don't know, but you just go with
Mm.
it. You just flow with it. And whereas on screen, you're always given the opportunity to like cut, retake. Let's say if
Yep.
something's done wrong, you can always redo it again. You're allowed
Yep.
the grace to redo it again. But on
Yep.
stage, it's very different. And there's also the presence of audience. Audiences are live with you, and I kind of like that energy of having the audiences with me. Whereas on stage, everything is just it's just the camera, you and the crew all around you, and
Yeah.
it's a different kind of energy. It's a different kind of
Mm.
energy, and on stage, your movements can be a lot. It's a lot freer.
Mm.
Physically, it's a lot freer. Whereas compared to camera, there are certain spots you have to be in where, in order to make it, you know, in order to suit what film needs, the requirements of film.
Right, right. Wow. Okay. You need okay, when you talk about acting on stage, right? You say you
Mm,
there's no retakes and everything. So you have to be
mm,
really okay, in an average, right? How
mhm.
long do you need to like rehearse before the day itself?
Uh, It depends on how much you are given. It depends on
Oh,
the timeline
what's
of the
your
entire
shortest one?
production itself. The shortest time we've had was maybe 4 weeks. For full
Wow.
production, that is very short. Yeah. If you're
Oh,
lucky, you'll
okay.
get months of rehearsals. If not, you get maybe 4 weeks to do, if you're talking about full production, not like
Mm.
short scenes and things like that. Yeah.
And 4 weeks you do like daily rehearse for
Yeah.
on
It has to
stage?
be every day for maybe like 8 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Because
Okay.
it's a full time thing.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It's like it is a full time job. I mean, like you have that production that you need to do, right? And then you only have 4 weeks. So if you need to do a full production and then you are given 4 weeks, you need to rehearse daily. So if you have like months,
Months? Oh, with months, then you get more time to go into the details, a lot more detailing work to do. Character
uh,
work, blocking and things like that. Because with the production, there are a lot of different elements that come together. In a way, this is
right.
similar to film where there are a lot of different components that need to be put together. In the same way
Mm,
for theatre as well, there are so many different things, different elements, different components that create a show. And if you have the luxury of time, great. You get to go into more detail, you get to rehearse more. But if you
mm.
don't, then we make the best of what we have, you know?
Right, right, right. Okay. So, just a sidetrack question. Is there any like um mishap that happened on set for your on stage
uh,
during on stage or anything, or is there anything, how do you counter all this if there's any like problems during that event itself, that production itself?
if you're live in front of audiences,
Yeah.
you have to just go with it. Yeah,
Okay.
and I think that's part of actor training as well. To be able to react to anything that happens on stage, because that is just it's all part and parcel of it. It's just the nature of it. You
Mm.
things happen, maybe someone injures themselves on stage, and
Mm,
it's something that no one could have foreseen. So
mm,
you just roll with it, and you just react according to it.
So you have to be
Yeah.
quick. You have to be
Yes.
quick in response, yeah.
Yeah.
No
Because there's
time.
no stopping the show and then,
Yeah.
oh, sorry, we restart. There's none of that. Yeah.
True. All right. Okay. So, for those of you who are here, if you have any questions, type in the live chat comment below, and I will show you the questions. I will show the questions to Nicola. All right. Now let's go into my next question.
Okay.
You have again, I mentioned, you also you did share with us that you have been in the industry for the longest time, I would say, right now until now. So what has been your greatest accomplishment as a stage actor, or even for
Um,
screen for that matter?
for stage, okay, I wouldn't say greatest accomplishment because I feel that there's always something to work towards, and
Yep, of course.
you know, something further to look to. But I would say the role in which I felt proudest of was when I played Golda in Fiddler on the Roof. Fiddler on the Roof is a musical, and
Mm,
Golda is the role of the mother. So
mm.
she's a mother of five, and for some reason that role spoke to me, and I it was relatable for some reason. Not because I like kids, not because I that, but not that I have kids or anything, but um, it was her groundedness, her sense of, she was very down to earth. She knew what she needed to do, and she gets things done. And I like a character like that. And to be able to play something like that was quite refreshing, because in the past I used to have roles that were very like, oh, play the princess, or like
Okay.
play the damsel in distress. So after a while I was just like, okay, can I get something more substantial? Or in my previous, maybe I would be a dancer or
Mm.
things like that. So when I got this role, I felt it was a proud moment for me.
Yeah, of
I would say
course.
that would be my favorite role.
Wow, amazing. So, like, when you are acting, right, do you have to like uh do you become you, or you become the character, or you actually somehow can be both at the same time?
I would say, for me anyway, I don't know how other people
Yeah.
would approach it,
Mm,
but for me, I think there's always a part of me that can be, in a sense, in the character. Like there's
right.
always a part of the character that can speak to me, or there would always be a part of me in that character, because I think it is important to also bring a sense of yourself or your personality to the character, because that's what makes the character unique. Like so many actors can play the same character, but what makes them different?
Mm,
So I would say is bringing a bit of yourself to that character and making it work somehow. And so I think it's a bit of both. I
mm,
wouldn't say one or the other.
mm.
And at least that's how I like to approach my character work anyway.
Right. Do you like bring back home that character that you play?
I
Like, do you
Oh,
like
I know what you mean, like that
yeah.
element. Yeah. I wouldn't say bring back home, but when you rehearse a character for
Mm,
too long, in a sense,
yeah.
you tend to I tend to find myself thinking in the way of the character sometimes, but those are just fleeting thoughts. Like it never stays. So
Okay.
because there's always something to learn from each character. So when I do go home and I find myself thinking like, oh yeah, this is what my character would do.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
it's like you somehow relate it back to whatever your character is.
kind of
Somehow.
moments lah, moments,
Moments,
not
yeah.
always.
Not
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah.
Okay. So if like for example, I want to be stage actor.
Sure.
if so what are the essential skill set one must have to be a stage actor?
Mm, technical skills aside, I would
Mm,
say first of all, you need to know yourself. You need to
okay.
know what kind of person you are, what are the things you value as a person, or your identity, what kind of if you put it in a business context, your branding,
Right.
what kind of person, because as an actor, you are your own business, right? So
Yes.
you need to know your identity, know what you value, and when you know that, it's easier for you to develop uh sort of your identity, I guess, and then bring it
Mm,
to an audition. Yeah. If you don't know who you are, it's very difficult for people to know you or to identify you and to put you in a role as well. So I think to
mm,
know that also helps you to ground yourself,
right.
especially in, the world can be very complex in the industry. And I think, we always tend to spiral down when we doubt ourselves,
Mm,
or we fear certain things. So I think to first of all know yourself and know what you value is very important.
right.
Um, I also think having an open mind is very important because especially when it comes to stage, there are many possibilities to what you can do on stage, many
Yeah.
opportunities. And I think especially growing up in the Asian community, we tend to fear a lot. We've been conditioned to fear
Yeah.
things like this cannot do, that cannot do. Oh no, what if I'm wrong? I cannot be wrong. People always told us that, oh, you can't be wrong, this and that. So we fear. But
Mm,
I would say it took me a while to step past that, and
mm,
to be able to really how to say, feel what it really is like to experience the magic of theater. I think you need to allow yourself to let go and to kind of
mm,
just step past those fears. And it's easier said than done because I've
right.
been there. Like I fear a lot and I worry a lot, and I used to be very very self-conscious, but it really took me many years to get past that. And even sometimes now I still struggle with it, but it's always a process. It's a never-ending process, a never-ending
Yeah.
journey, to really
Yeah.
get there.
I think these skills it applies to
Yes.
everyone, yeah, not just, it's
Yeah.
not really attached to one industry. It's for
Yeah.
everyone, forever. Whatever industry you are in, I feel this is something that
Yeah.
you should have within you.
Yeah.
If you don't know yourself, then it might be difficult for you to, like, present yourself, or even get people to, like, see, like, in one word, how can you describe Nicola, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's something, like you mentioned, it's personal branding, and also not to be afraid of doing things wrongly.
Yes.
And to not actually fear of doing things lah, right? And
Yes.
also to
It's a very universal value. Yes.
right. So if it's, so that is a skill set. If it's like technical part, is there any, like,
Technical.
mm,
Mm, okay, so there are people like me who have gone through like theater training, but yet
yep,
I've also seen stage actors who have had no training at all, and they have just gone into like like workshops or
mm,
like programs, like those kind of holiday programs, or like like what's that? Yeah, mostly just workshops and stuff, and they do very well. So I feel like
mm,
anybody can do it if they want to. Actually, there's
mm,
in terms of technicalities, you can do training if you want to,
mm,
but for some people who prefer, because it can be quite expensive. So,
right.
and yeah, so for some people who prefer to not go down that route,
Mm,
there are people who have done like workshops and eventually just go for auditions, and they actually do really well. So I feel that technical skills may not entirely be what you need to be a
right.
successful stage actor, I feel. Yeah.
Is the your personal soft skills?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I feel if you're willing to learn and you're willing to be there, to show up, to put in the time and commitment, it is possible.
Right. Yes. Very, very true. Okay.
Mm.
We have another question from Jade. So
Yes.
he's asking, how can I be more comfortable in front of camera when shooting videos for my YouTube channel? Any tips you can share? This is
uh,
the part that we talked earlier. I mean,
yes,
before we
yes,
start the
yes,
live, right? So
yes.
we have like, for example, public speaker, like stage
Mm.
actor, uh, whoever are comfortable in front of the audience,
Yeah.
when they actually in front of the camera, then they become stiff. So do you have any tips that you can share with us?
Practice, I would say.
Okay.
Practice speaking in front of a camera when you're alone. It took time for me also because I do feel very awkward sometimes when it's just me and the camera, like alone. Uh, but take time to practice when you're not shooting a video. Just keep recording yourself, watching yourself, keep talking in your free time, and eventually you'll get used to it. I feel it's a practice and time thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like plan out before you practice? Do you have like a plan behind every
Um,
videos that you make or something like that?
I would. Okay, maybe for that day, I would be like, I would set down what I want to talk about,
Mm.
and I would I would use that as a guide, but I wouldn't
Mm.
constantly refer to it. So I
Right.
will have a keyword for the day. Like for example, my keyword for today is patience.
Mm.
So I will keep it in my mind that okay, today I want to talk about patience and what are the things that I want to say, and what I feel about it. But yeah, at the same time, I will have a guide beside me to kind of keep myself in check so that I don't go on a roll because I for me anyway, I tend to go on a roll when I start talking. So it's useful to have a guide beside you to help ground you in what you want to talk about. But at
Mm.
the same time, I like to keep it free flowing also. Yeah.
Right. Okay, can. Okay. So for those of you who are watching, Nicola is an actor on stage and on screen, and she is here to share with us how her journey as a stage actor, and also to share on she earlier shared on the skill sets that you must have to be a stage actor. Okay, so I have one more question.
Sure.
All right. So, what are the most challenging things about being a stage actor, and how do you manage it?
Mm, one of the things I feel are jobs. Yeah. So because for us we do project if you're not tied to a company anyway, it's
Yeah.
all like project basis.
Mm,
And there are phases where you get lots of jobs at one go, but then
mm,
there are also phases where you just get nothing. And it's not the fault of anybody. It's just it's not because you're not good or whatever, but
mm,
it's just what it is. It's just what um the production requires at the point of
mm,
time, and maybe at the point you just don't suit what they need at the point. So there could be times where you just don't have anything. So I would say it's probably like the fluctuating of like jobs, and not always having regular work. Yeah,
mm.
and also sorry, and also at the beginning for me it's learning lines for stage, especially learning lines, and really getting it down is that's always the toughest part at the beginning of a production.
Is it tough to learn your lines? Like you
Uh,
mentioned, stage actor cannot retake.
yeah. Yeah, so you have to eventually find a method to learn lines, and it's also one of the technical skills that we learn in theater school. But
Mm,
for me, what helps is repetition. So repeating
right.
them over again, getting it to my body, like physically doing it. So let's say my blocking, or for those who don't understand what blocking is when the
Mm,
director tells you to like do something on stage, or like walk here to there, there to here. It helps me to repeat that over and over again while doing my lines. So repetition and really getting into my body. I find that helps me a lot. Yeah.
right. Oh, okay. So that means in that one line you have to repeat like a lot of times.
Either that line or that particular monologue, that phrase, that speech. Yeah.
Right. And
It
usually
helps
how
for me.
long do you take to do that?
Um, it it
On
depends
average.
actually.
On average?
Um, Maybe about for a particular speech, I
Mm.
would say maybe 2 hours a day.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
to really
Mm.
properly get it into my system to make it
Mm.
feel like it's second nature.
Mm. All right.
Because on
Okay.
stage, you don't want to be thinking about what are my lines. It has to come to you
True.
like that.
True. I mean, when on stage, right? Do you have like suddenly, oh, what's my line? Have you had
Yes,
that moment?
I have had moments like that where I just blank out. But that's one of the mishaps that would happen on stage, and you just just embrace
You
it. Just embrace it, and then just go ahead with the next thing.
right. Nice. I mean, usually you will have like another co-actor on stage with you, right? But
It
sometimes it's
depends.
monologue.
Yes, correct.
Mm. Sometimes it's just one person on stage. I mean, you
Yeah,
on stage alone, and then you have to do like the whole skit or something, right?
yeah, correct.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, those local woman plays as well.
Right. Okay. Okay. Can. So we have another question on the screen. Okay. Hi, Coach Chan. Okay. He's actually asking, what are your work that you have done? Recent work.
Uh, the more recent ones would be my film stuff. So maybe the main few that I've done is I did one for Lenovo. That was also another solo character film. So
Mm,
that was quite fun because that it was a virtual reality shoot.
right.
So I played a character where she's a regular office girl, but then she's also a gamer. So one day she gets into office and then somehow or another she gets sucked into the screen and then this whole world of like having to try and find the red shoes or something and then she to come back to the reality that she knows. So yeah, that was
Nice.
fun.
Interesting. So,
Yeah.
maybe you can share with us the films that you have done before. I mean, the name of the films that you have done before.
Oh, okay. So that one, the virtual reality one, is called The Yellow Road.
Mm,
And then I've done a couple of ads as well
mm.
for DBS.
All
It's the
right.
it's called Be Web Wise, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And then oh man, I can't think off my head right now. Oh, I did another short film. I think it was called it was for this competition. It was for a film competition. It was called Boo in the Loo, where I played a ghost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she's in the toilet. So she enters the toilet, and then there's a peeping tom in the toilet, but she doesn't realize. And then after that, so the guy tries to like take a photo of her like over the toilet, but he doesn't realize that she's actually like a ghost. So
Oh my
she
god.
yeah, so in the end she sort of appears behind him, and then she just like grabs him.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting
Yeah,
role.
yeah. And oh yeah, another
Yes.
one that I really liked was a one where I played a office manager in a GovSG film. That was really nice. I played it with J Liu.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. All right. Okay. Thank you, Coach Chan, for the question. So, for those who are watching, you have any question, just type inside the live chat and I will flash it up for you. Okay. So, I have one more question for you,
Yeah.
Nicola. Okay. This is the question that I actually asked my previous guest as well. So I also want to know from you, right? What is
Mm.
something that you know now, like you wish you knew when you first starting out as an actor?
Hmm. Don't take things so seriously. Yeah. When I was
Actually,
yeah, sorry.
actually, the somehow the answer is similar to the previous week one.
Oh really?
Like yeah, she was mentioning she needs to learn to relax more. So it's
Yeah.
somehow similar, somehow similar. Right,
Yeah.
continue. Okay.
Yeah, it's true because I think when I first started out, I took things quite seriously, like, oh, this must be this, that must be that, you know. There's no such thing as gray area. And I learned in after many years of doing theater, training in theater, I learned that, you know, actually there is no right or wrong. You know,
Right.
there's no one way of doing things. There's so many different ways to play a character. There's so many different ways. Like believe it or not, there's so many different ways you can walk across a space. That is something that was profound to me when I first started. So I was like, huh? How many ways can you walk? Just walk, you know? And, but eventually I learned that, you know, there are many ways to travel across an empty space. And um slowly, eventually I kind of broke through that mindset, you know,
Mm,
of things don't have to be one way all the time. You know, there's so many different
mm,
ways. There's so many perspectives. You know, yeah. So I
that's
wish I knew that more when I was younger, so that maybe I could have done a bit better. Maybe I didn't have to struggle so much. But hey, I mean, it's all a learning journey, right?
true, true. It's a process, yeah. For every industry you are in, It's always a
Yeah.
process to be better from where
Yeah.
you are, from where you were and where you are now, right? All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Nicola, for
Thank
being here with me. It
you.
was really, really lovely to have you here on board with me and to share about your knowledge in stage acting, because I feel stage acting is something that is very I would say it's very difficult
Mm-hmm.
because you need to be quick. You need to, like, if there's anything happen, you have to really respond to it
Yes.
quickly. And how do you actually counter everything
Yeah.
that is happening? Yeah, so you can't like suddenly something happened, then you just get off the stage, right? You can't do that.
Yeah.
It's like live audience. So
Mm-hmm.
it's more of like how do you actually one, of course, before everything, you have to really practice and practice and practice every single day, depending on the amount of time that you are given. Like you were mentioning, it's if it's 4 weeks, then you have to do it daily, and
Mm-hmm.
every day, I mean daily for 8 hours a day, right? Is it
On average lah, on
on
average, yeah.
average? Yeah, on
Yeah.
average. Yeah, I feel stage acting is something that when people watch, they love
Mm-hmm.
it, but some of us don't really know what's going behind
Yeah.
whole production.
That's the idea, yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really a lot of thought process for every stage actor that is actually doing the production. Yeah,
Yeah.
but for you, in terms of your thought process, right? How do you,
Mm.
okay, when you receive a script, it's a script, right? I
Mm.
mean, usually
Oh yeah.
you
Yeah.
script. So when you receive a script, how do you actually, what's your thought process when you actually receive a script? Do you actually go through everything first, or you actually go through like scene by scene by scene? What's your thought process?
Mm. For me personally, the first thing I'll do is find all my lines for my characters first and mark them out. And
Right.
then I would find out clues about my character. Like, okay, like from what my character says, what can I derive? Yeah, and so that to get more information about my character so that I can find out more. And then after that, because the only way you can find out about your character is through like maybe the writer's notes. Maybe they will indicate what kind of person this character is, but sometimes you don't get that luxury. So the only way to find out is through what your character says. And from there
Right.
draw clues. And then after that, then I'll read everything in the entirety, like the whole play, how this character fits into the entire play, who is she to that person, who is she to that person.
Right.
Is she a
Right. Right.
mother? Is she a daughter? Is she a protagonist? Is she antagonist? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then
Mm.
I mean, like, then after that, do you do like deep research on your character? Like, for example, like you Google, or you like do YouTube research or anything like that, or
I
reference
would.
on.
I would actually, yeah. I would Google like maybe or more of YouTube. I would watch other
Mm,
versions played by other people, and I would see, okay, what can I learn from this, or what can I
mm,
take from this, you know, because I feel like nothing is original these days. We learn, we take from other examples, and that's
inspired.
okay. Yeah, we take inspiration, you take it and make it your own. You put your own flavor to it, and then you build a character from there. Because I think there are a lot of female actors that I do admire, and I would love to watch their rendition of that character, if
Yeah.
it if there is lah.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
actually, we have one more question.
Sure.
Okay, so Kwok Chuan actually asked, what theatre or film genre do you prefer working in?
Oh, and then hmm I like to do action stuff, but
Yeah, because you
also
want to go towards stun, right?
yes, I would eventually do stunt acting. I like action in terms of film, and for theatre, I actually like classical plays. Yeah, and I like some Shakespeare plays as well. Like Merchant of Venice is my favorite, and I would love to play Portia. For those who are familiar with Merchant of Venice, I would love to play Portia, but I have not had a chance yet. So hopefully one day I will. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Hopefully, all my prayers for you to, like, go move forward to your acting career and also to be a actor. So it's really, really nice to have, like, more ladies who are on
Yeah.
board with in this kind of industry where it's, I would say it's male dominating industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially eventually if I want to go into stunt acting, then it is quite male
Yeah,
dominated.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, you were saying that they are in need of female stunt actors,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Mm.
And
So
but it's
whoever
okay.
watching,
Yeah.
whoever watching want to be stunt actor, go ahead because they are looking for it.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, Zuraida. Welcome, welcome. So you have any question for Nicola, you can just type in the live chat below, and then we will go ahead and ask Nicola, and she is happy to answer your question.
Yes, ask me anything.
Okay. For like currently, like what the current situation that we are in with
Yeah.
COVID-19 and all that,
Mhm.
how do you pivot your business? I would say it's a
Um,
business. Mm.
yeah, yeah, you're very right to say that.
Mm.
I would. That's why I diversify. So it's not just acting that I do. I do like dance. I
Mm.
do martial arts. I do a couple of other things as well. And so on the side, I also do a bit of digital content stuff. But
Right.
that's just a very minor part of it. So um, yeah, that's why I always make it a point to diversify. It's very important to, have a couple of skills that you can make available so that when the when the situation calls for it, you can offer something. There's always something you can offer.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think for me, I feel that you can be strong at your niche, but you
Mm.
need to diversify as well to, like,
Yeah.
support whatever. Just in, like whatever is happening right now, the pandemic that's happening. At least there's something that is, you are able to give to your audience.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
something
So,
that you can develop yourself in. Take the
exactly,
time to
exactly.
develop yourself.
Right. So, for the, oh, we have another question, Nicola. Okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
Right.
Hi.
I'm so
Hello.
happy we have another question. Okay, Coach Chai, and she says, best wishes to you.
Thank
Okay, we
you.
have one more question. All right. Hi, Nicola. Have you faced doubts before in your career and pursue of it? How did you overcome it?
Yes, I have faced a lot of doubts and fears as well. And how I overcame it. I would
Mm,
say I'm very fortunate to have a very strong, close support group of people that I can always turn to, whom I will always talk to about my fears and my doubts. And but I understand that not everyone would have that kind of support group. So what I do is to never push that fear aside. To that I would tell myself that fear is very relevant and it's also very fleeting. It's
mm,
just for this moment that I doubt myself. But that's why I said it's important to know what you value and what you can offer to people, because knowing what you value keeps you grounded. And whenever those doubts come, you remind yourself that hey, this is what I'm good at, and this is what I can offer if someone ever needs it in the future. And so yeah, but of course,
that's
it's very subjective. But
true.
for me, this is how I do try to overcome it lah. To keep myself grounded, to remind myself of what I do and the things that I'm
Mm,
good at. Yeah.
right. I think you should go back to your purpose on why you want to do it,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
Mm.
correct.
Like
If
if you go
you,
back,
if, yeah, if you remember that, because especially for theater and performing, it's something that I love. So therefore, like when challenges come, you remind yourself that this is what you enjoy doing, and
mm,
naturally you will find ways to overcome it because it's what you feel passionate about, and it's because it's what you love doing, and you won't give up on it so easily, if it
right.
means that much to you. So
Mm,
challenges are very normal, and doubts are very normal, but it's something that somehow or another we will find ways to overcome it if it really means that much to us.
yeah, yeah, very true. So, how can the viewers or whoever, how can the viewers right now are watching and the viewers who are going to watch the replay later, how can they reach you?
Oh, you
if they
can
have any
reach me.
questions.
You can email or you can find me on Facebook or Instagram.
Hmm.
I think Renee, you shared it
Can.
on your
I will
profile.
I will put it on my let me put up on the banner here. All right.
Yeah,
So okay, so Instagram,
you
where
have
can they
my
find you? I can't remember the
perfecting Kanti.
perfecting. Okay. Okay. Perfecting auntie, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, so if you want to connect with Nicola, you can follow her on Instagram at perfecting Kanti, and Facebook is
Just Nicola Kong.
Nicola Kong, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So you have any questions about acting? Correct? Am I right? Am I right?
Oh no, I think there's a spelling error.
Oh, there's a spelling error. Oh my god.
Is that
Okay,
usually
let me edit this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kanti is Khanti.
Okay, yeah. I thought of that, but okay, it didn't came out the N.
Okay.
Okay, yes. So if you
PR,
want to,
PR, not PRE.
oh my god. Okay, this is really a very conversational YouTube live, yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay, we got
Yeah.
it right now. Okay. All right. So if you want to connect with Nicola, you can follow her Instagram at perfecting Kanti and her Facebook at Nicola Kong.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have any questions earlier on, if you have any more questions, if you're shy to put it on the live chat, you can DM her, PM
Yeah,
her
you're most welcome. Yeah.
on Facebook or on Instagram. Thank you so much, Nicola, and thank you so
Thank
much
you so
for
much.
thank you for coming on board with me and sharing your journey as a stage actor. I feel that for me personally, I feel there's a lot of insights that I learned from you as an stage actor because we always see the end product.
Yeah.
We never really know what's going on behind it, so
Mhm.
it's really nice to have you here to share what's actually happening behind the scenes so that we are more appreciative of the work as especially for actor who are actually on stage because
Thank you so much.
right. No, because like you mentioned, stage acting, there's no retakes, there's no
Yeah.
you can't go wrong per se. Even if you go wrong, you have to like really go with the flow, like
Yeah. You
really
have to
be quick.
respond and react
Yeah.
quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, correct. But if it's like film, it's really it's another different ball game altogether.
It
You know,
is. It is.
really different. It's there's a lot of cameras and all that, right? So it's
Yeah.
another another dimension. It's another like fear that you need to
Yeah.
overcome also as
Mm.
well. So yes, thank you so much, Nicola, for coming. And for those who are here, thank you so much for being here. And for those who are watching this replay, thank you so much for watching this video. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content on videography. And please remember to follow Nicola as well at her Instagram and Facebook so that you can also check out her work and on stage acting. All right, see you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.